Well, this is Nigeria particularly. We can see the drama that is unfolding as Nigerian policemen, ex-Nigerian policemen who are on the road waiting for their pension. They've taken to the streets to particularly, protest against the unpaid pension that has been owed them by the federal government. And we recall that just a week ago, we had reported that the federal government was making plans to actually dip their hand into pensioners' money and actually take a whopping 20 trillion naira for what they called infrastructural development. And so we can see this is the country where we find ourselves in. By the way, thank you for joining us on today's live broadcast. We're so glad to have you. I have my colleague here, Peace, in the studio with me.
Obidient worldwide, I greet you now. Una welcome again for today's show. Una welcome wherever you watch us from. Make una carry shares to dawn. Una welcome.
Well, speaking of protest, the Nigerian police force ex-members are not the only people protesting, as also the NLC and the labor unions have given the federal government an ultimatum on the minimum wage, and Trade Union Congress of Nigeria has told the government to meet their demands, including a new national minimum wage and reversing the electricity tariff hike by May 31st. If not, they will protest and take industrial action. The labor unions are unhappy with the government's offer of 48,000 as the new minimum wage, and they called it ridiculous. They also want 615,000 naira to be the new minimum wage, citing the high cost of living in Nigeria. Right, some state governors have not implemented the 2019 National Minimum Wage Act, which is why the labor unions are giving them a 2-week ultimatum to comply. The labor unions are determined to protect the interest and welfare of workers and want the government to prioritize the demands for industrial peace. And so some of the, state governments that have not met some workers' demands as at May 23rd, we are going to be mobilizing, or they are going to be mobilized for industrial action according to the NLC. And the labor union are serious about taking their demands seriously and wants the government to treat it as urgent. And so in a statement released, the labor union said, in quotes, that the labor unions are upset because the current minimum wage of 30,000 is no longer enough for workers to live on. They want a new minimum wage that reflects the true value of workers' contributions to the country's development. And the government has set up a committee to look into the minimum wage issue, but the labor unions feel as though they are not being taken very seriously. They are determined to fight for their rights and to get a fair deal. If the government doesn't meet their demands, the labor unions are prepared to take action, including protest and strike. They want to ensure that their workers are treated fairly and with dignity. The Nigerian labor unions are united in their demand and are willing to work together to achieve common goal. They are also calling on the government to prioritize the welfare of workers and take their demands seriously. Hope we've seen the drama that's been going on in our country, right? And so aside from the ex-policemen who are actually protesting the fact that they've not been paid their pension, we have the NLC who is actually coming out to say that they have an issue with the current minimum wage that the federal government is offering. What are your thoughts on this?
Well, the minimum wage where the government they offer them, to me, make we no lie, the thing actually they poor. How much now be bag of rice for Niger? If we can they check or they calculate, even transport safe, nothing, everything don't skyrocket. We know the prices of goods don't go high, and people are suffering. People they suffer. People they go through tough times. So what you want make they do? They no go complain. They supposed complain.
Very, very true. Exactly. We know that they are complaining for a very right cause, because if you take a look at the current realities of the country we are in, the economic circumstances we find ourselves in, we realize that these people are not actually asking for something that is impossible. They are taking into cognizance the fact that the reality that we find ourselves in is harsher. 30,000 naira as the former minimum wage ended since February this year, right? And so it's just sad that all the times that they've been taking to actually deliberate on this new minimum wage, nobody's particularly saying anything. And from a whooping 615,000 naira that the labor unions are, projecting as the new minimum wage, at least even if the government is not ready to give them particularly that, they should be willing to at least give them something that is a fair deal, because 48,000 naira is particularly funny for a new minimum wage if we're taking into consideration our new, economic realities. Well, moving on, His Excellency P2B, in his usual fashion, has gone to, around doing good as he usually does, because this time the beneficiaries of this is good is the School of Nursing in St. Joseph Hospital at Nuku, where he donated 10 million naira. He took to his X handle where he particularly said the details of how it went through.
In continuation of my commitment to contributing to building a better society through investment in critical areas of human development, I visited the College of Nursing Sciences, St. Joseph Hospital, Adazi Nuku, and gave them my support of 10 million for the training of more nurses. The college, which is one of the oldest, have over the decades of produced qualified nurses and midwives, and it has contributed immeasurably to the growth of our health sector and the development of our human infrastructure. I have remained consistent in my advocacy for more aggressive investment in the critical areas of education and health, especially for the training of healthcare workers. Different health organizations have continued to warn about the impending shortage of healthcare workers, especially nurses, on the global level. By investing in their training, we will be able to produce enough to meet our needs and contribute in managing the global shortage. I extend my appreciation to the proprietor of the college, the management and staff of the college for their dedication and hard work in contributing to the growth of our health sector. Reminded the student nurses that nursing is a noble profession in which they will find fulfillment. By serving society, I wish them well and enjoin them to continue to work hard as nurses as we unite our efforts in building a new Nigeria. Tweet, P.O.
Well, that is coming from our very own His Excellency P2B, because he has actually gone around doing good in, good faith, trying to make sure that Nigeria is actually a better place than he has met it, and kudos to him for that, and thank God for the initiative, because 10 million naira currently in this harsh economic reality is coming from an individual that has no form of would I say responsibility. At least he's not holding any political office currently, and so he's doing this purely out of good faith. So kudos to His Excellency P2B. Speaking of P2B, recently he had actually come to actually talk about the issue of the fact that we have misplacement of priorities, and so he had a lot to say on his X handle. And in one of his tweets on his X handle, he said, "Giant of Africa, as the giant of Africa which we are, I remain concerned about our fiscal indiscipline as a nation. Imagine the situation in our education sector, where the global average of secondary school enrollment is above 80%, while in Nigeria it is 28%. He went further to say that the global average of tertiary school enrollment is above 55%, while in Nigeria it is less than 15%. Yet our budget for the National Assembly car park is 6 billion naira. The budget for the National Assembly recreational facilities is 4 billion naira. Approved for the construction of hostels in 12 tertiary institutions is just 1 billion naira. It is time for us to stop this financial indiscipline and embrace financial discipline by prioritizing the allocation of resources to the critical areas of human and national development." Signed, P.O. Well, please, you don't hear him now. What are your thoughts particularly about this?
As we don't already know, P.O. is a man of the people. Right. He's a man of his word, and he's very patriotic in nature. And a person where they consider it, they carry the people for mind. He get person where he go be, as he know win for the election, he go just back up. Right. But yet, it's just him, they help the helpless. He just, they give out to the poor. Right. Can't carry the people burden for him mind. So, not be today he start to they give. Exactly. He don't they give, and he always they give. My prayer for him be say, make God they provide for him, because people na person will be say, they like make him see in fellow citizens or in citizen people when they cry. Exactly. And they always carry them for mind. May God continue to they bless him.
Well, yes, you've heard from P, so let God keep blessing P2B particularly, because he has been a source of help to Nigerians generally. Well, this tweet is coming from Charlie Boy, area father, who was giving a rough assessment of Tinubu's first year in office. So according to him, this is the scorecard, and he says number 1, he nearly brought Emirates back to Nigeria 3 times. The emphasis is on the nearly, because he didn't successfully do it. Secondly, he said he nearly attracted Afrexim bank loan. Thirdly, he went forward to, talk about his nearly syndrome, where he said Tinubu nearly sealed Dutch $1 million investments. Number 4, he said he appointed his ministers. Number 5, he said he discussed with some white men. Number 6, he said he moved Federal Airports Authority to Lagos, and he didn't meddle in the Wike Fubara battle, according to him. Number 8, he also said he almost allocated 5 billion for student loan. And number 9, successfully he allocated 90 billion naira for 2024 hard, right? Number 10, he proceeded to name a law. He said nearly started a war with Nigeria. Number 11, he moved CBN to Lagos. He took 1,410 people to United Arab Emirates for a summit. 13, he said he approved loan, or rather road from VI to Ekpe for 1 trillion naira. 14, he said he almost started the PH refinery. Number 15, he almost won the AFCON. This is particularly funny. Number 16, he said he removed subsidy and used usual subsidy allocation for something. 17, padded budgets by £3 billion. 18, he did appointments every week. He went on and on. 19, went on vacation 2 times after working so hard, as he should. Number 20, he said almost invited Qatar investments. Number 21, he bought jeeps for all his supporters. This is the much I can remember, according to Charlie Boy area father. He said, I'm sure there's more. Kindly add yours so we can see how successful he has been in this past months. I bow.
This is so funny, honestly.
Very, very, very funny, because the nearly syndrome, what do you have to say particularly? Because I think it's really funny.
It's really funny, honestly, because I don't see anything. The man has not done anything.
Right.
To be sincere, he has not done anything. The only thing we keep experiencing for the past how many months he said he has been in office is just insecurity, hide this, hide that. So why is he giving himself all these accolades?
Oh, well, anyway, we're waiting. By May 29th, it's going to be complete
Definitely
1 year that he assumed office of the president of Nigeria. And of course, we expect his propaganda team to actually come out. I mean, the person of Bayo Nanuga and his cohorts to, start bringing out the things that they have allegedly achieved over the last 12 months. But Nigerians can tell. We know exactly what it is. We know what the reality is currently. And so we know who is working and who is not working particularly. So, I mean,
APC na scam. As we all know, APC na scam, and there will always be scams. Right. Na scam they be, and scam they will be forever.
Well, that's as much as we can take on today's live broadcast. Thank you for joining us in the studio. But before I leave, it's important that I mention the Obidient Family Cooperative Society and the fact that it has gathered a lot of momentum across different local governments in Nigeria. And so we keep sounding this because it is necessary for us to move from consumption to production as a people. So if you're interested in this, agro-allied business and in this cooperative society, you want to be part of the people who are making history, do not forget to actually click on the link that's going to be on the description box of this video or in the comment section, and join fellow well-meaning Nigerians as they converse about ways to move the country forward. Till we come your way again, thank you for joining us, and bye for now.
It's not the first time we are having
So that assumption of productivity, I don't know the index they are using. Are they matching it based on work, based on input, based on remuneration?